Hey everyone, I'm Wa.
And I'm Chris, and welcome to Docu Sweeties.
We're two longtime friends who discuss the riveting and sometimes trashy world of reality TV and docuseries.
Yes, but through our own lens, honey, which is, you know, let's just say that it's a little rainy, maybe it's a little autumny, like it's maybe scary, like maybe it's we're getting into a seasonal thing, maybe something is in our eye, we don't know, but at the end of the day, hopefully something mildly sweet. Hi.
Hello. So today we're talking 90 Day Fiancé, Before the 90 Days, Season 6, Episode 15. Every time we say goodbye, we've only just begun. That's not it, but it reminds me of a song that Karen Carpenter would have written.
It reminds me of, guess who? Britney Spears. Every time I start to cry, I fall without. Oh no, it's every time I start to fly. Yeah, it's like that weird song where she like died in a bathtub. I never really liked that song because it's like not a dance bop. It's like her like emoting or whatever. But like, wow, you remember that video? The Everytime video?
Mm-mm.
Honey, she's like dating Steven Dorff, and then she's like a famous singer. It's like like Lucky. It's like her. If Lucky happened and Lucky was like the teeny bop version of like A Star's Life, and then Every Time happened, it was like the really melodramatic, crazy, like over the top version where she like slits her wrists or something like that in a bathtub or something like that. I'm not quite sure.
Wow. Stephen Dorff, that is a name I haven't heard.
It's been a minute.
Dorff, like where is that? I mean, I don't care, but like, proverbially, where is that guy?
Proverbially.
I don't know if that's the right way to say that. The
I think it
proverbial
is.
blah blah blah. Um,
Oh, yeah. Every time we. Oh,
and
there's
it more.
something.
I mean, you're starting off at a normal note. Really, it would start every time we do a thing. It's Britney, bitch. That's my Britney impersonation. You're frozen, like in a very hilarious way. Now you're back. But it'd be like every time I try to go to sleep.
I'm
Uh,
mad because I didn't push local recordings. So now I'm like paused thinking about the fact that we're gonna have a horrible thing and I'm gonna have to do the whole thing over again like I did last time. What's wrong with me? Wow, that's what I'm having. I'm having okay because I forgot to push local recordings. I did the same thing I did last time.
you're right. We're not starting over again. This is the podcast. You're
Well, then
not.
it's just that I know that it's gonna be. Well, then I'm gonna take off my. That's okay. You know what? You're right, and I will remedy this by I'm just take off my video
Oh, okay.
because I want to make sure it's not a horrible situation where I just like I'm paused for 10 seconds and not knowing if I'm have bad audio. So Patreon, this is what's happening. A girl, me, Chris, had to move my computer around. So sorry. We'll cut this out for Gene or you're gonna cut this out. But that's why I'm gonna take myself off video because I'm gonna have a bad stream and that's why. So bye. Anyway, hi Wa.
Hello. So do you want to get started?
I would love to. Who do you want to start
Okay.
with?
We'll start at the beginning of the list that's in front of me here, which is the same list that you have. So we're gonna start with these two. I feel Rosvin and Amanda, for those of you guys who are not on patreon.com/DocuSweeties, $10 a month. Okay. Their storyline is so redeemable, or it is something that I really enjoy. I don't like her, but I like him. And I like the fact that he's like just giving us ups and downs. Okay.
Wow.
He tried to like this mean bitch,
Mm-hmm.
and she acted like a meanie. And so now, when she thinks that she's the bad guy and that she doesn't want him to break up with her, she is going to stare at him while straightening her hair and ask him for a ring. Now, the good thing I will say is that winged liner on her looked fantastic. Chris, I had another question. Does she dye her hair? Is that what's happening? Are the roots growing out lighter, which is why it looks like she has like a river runs through it?
Yes, absolutely. And then also, while I didn't like her eyeliner in that last scene, but let's take it back a little bit. So he's like, takes her to some beach club, and it's like a beautiful, looking beach club. And he's like, I'll tell you right now, she's bananas. She grabbed me last night and was like, I need you to fuck me right now. We had sex 4 times. And when he said that, we cut to her and she is up in his nook, in his grill, honey. I mean, cuddling up. And it's like, we are watching someone love bomb someone. I'm watching her. It's like before she didn't seem desperate or she didn't even seem like she liked him. And so to go, it's just such a, like, we literally watched him one. Everything was horrible. He was waiting on hand and knee and bended foot, bended leg, bended knee for her. God bless. He bended everything for her. And he made the coffee. She hated everything. And then suddenly she tells him that he's not good enough. He makes her feel bad. And now she's like, oh, I'm obsessed with you. I love you and I'm obsessed with you. And like, I need you inside my body. I now like need you to be married to me. Like, it's so her rationale and how she made the switch and she keeps like low-key being like, well, I got this for my kids or this for my kids. And then this banana switch has nothing to do with her kids, because if she was going to be like, at the end of the day, Rosman really, like, you know, is more of an actor artist type and I need someone who's more stable. He's never even given her an ounce of like, well, you know what? You're right. I will make sure that like I have something to give to your household. Like, all he said was, you were supposed to support me and you didn't. And it took her down some sort of guilt hole that now she's throwing her body love self at him. Anyway, so this beach club looks great. He orders a mojito and 2 energy drinks. And I was like, the mojito is for her. Is it 2 energy drinks for you? Or is 1 energy drink also for her? Like, I wanted to know, like, he's just like so hyped up. Is he so tired from the fucking? What do you think about that?
I just was shocked when she said a mojito. It took me a second to even like know what that was. I was like, margarita, no, mojito. Now I'm from California, right? And I know that people drink mojito somewhere in this state.
South.
I'm from Southern California. And so, yeah. So, but it's like definitely like, you know, when I'm like a mojito, like, yes, I've had a mojito, but it's never something I run to. It's like, if I'm going to say an M drink, it's going to be a margarita or maybe a martini. So that was fun. And so, yeah, the family come to the beach, like, you know, fun cabana situation. And we find out that his brother speaks English. So not only was Rosvin the one who was interpreting everything that was happening at the mother's potato dinner table, but also the little brother got an opportunity afterwards to be like, this is what really fucking happened. She's like, what does your mom think? And like, you know, all that stuff. So we find that then he's, you know, sitting there with his hot ass body and she's there with her, you know, cute body that she completely like covers up, which is there's no problem with being demure. But his mother comes and he puts on like a t-shirt or a rag, like a beautiful Arab man. I mean, this man, there's a scene where him and his mother are off on the rocks talking, and they have Rosvin sitting on the rocks. Behind him is like more shape of rocks. He has his like beautiful Arab man like tight wrap situation, and then there's like the ocean behind him. It is like every fragrance commercial for men out there, and he's just like, yes, mommy. As he's talking to his mother about how flim-flammy, you know, flibbity wits Amanda has been, and he doesn't know what to do. And the mom's like, well, the fact that you don't know what to do means that you know what to do. And we all agreed.
Yeah. I mean, that was such a powerful scene. Yeah. Like, the funny thing is, he's not Arab. He doesn't speak Arabic, you know, like at all. He speaks billions of languages, and none of them I can actually like, you know, really pinpoint, and they sound great. None of them's Arabic. But yeah, him wrapped with this head thing that he says that he does to like, you know, he's cute when he's self-depreciating because of his bald head, even though you're right, he looks just like a model with this like headpiece on, you know, like it's anyway. Yeah. So then
beautiful.
I also want to say that the pizza that they ordered looked great.
I didn't notice it.
Oh, well, that's because I have a food addiction. Anyway, so yeah, he knows he looks good later on as he's playing pool. Have you ever played pool with a dude? And like, I feel like it's such a trope.
Here's something that you don't know about me.
You don't play pool with men.
No. I grew up with a pool table.
Okay, so you play pool with men.
Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, like that was the thing that people, like the kids would come to our house and play pool, because like we fully had a pool table in the garage, as well as my dad's friends would come over. So oft, many a night of my childhood, a Friday, Saturday night situation was men and folks playing pool. I'm not the greatest at it, but I know what to do, you know?
Oh God, you know what? Let me just tell you how hot it would be if you were really fucking good. Well, like if you were really good and you could just like listen,
Just show
you
up
would
to a
get
place with my
any
shoes.
bar with a pool. Yes. And then, but you know, you'd have to first be like, oh, what's this? And they'd be like, oh, pool. You're like, POOL. Interesting. Ha ha ha. And then
Billiards? I don't know what that is.
and you're like, what's this like interesting blue like chalk thing? Oh, it's cute. It's on my nose. Ha ha ha. Okay. And then you're like, you know what you guys should do? You guys should let me play and just like, you know, whatever. Just like, do you want to like play $5 and then whatever? And just like, we'll make it fun. Or just like whatever to pay for my drinks all night. You know, whatever comes. And then you just go and kill it. You kill it. And you get free drinks all night. Well,
I could do that without actually knowing how to play. I think that the fact that I was even attempting might make a captain try to come and save me.
Are you a hoe?
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm just kidding. You're not.
But trying to be. So yeah, they're at this pool hall because she apparently knows how to play pool. And so he takes her there so that they have a good time, and he makes jokes with her while they're there. And she's wearing an impossibly like 2002 outfit, Chris. It is.
Oh, I know it.
Chris, it was just so much belly. It was like Christina Aguilera level. It was Britney Spears level. It was Beyonce and Destiny's Child. It was all of the children of Destiny. She was giving that flavor, and I hated like. There are people in this world who don't need belts. I am not one of them because I have curves, and if I move, everything will just be out. And so, you know, God bless it, but she angered me with that fucking outfit. It was like she was doing her best high school. She was a freshman all over again. The only thing she was missing was butterfly clips.
Well, you're absolutely right. She like, it's so funny because they're having this conversation that you think might be sexy or whatever, and they're for some reason in a great mood, and suddenly she calls it out. She's like, hey, so meeting your family was great. Like, remember the time I told your mom that I liked her cooking? Yeah, remember that? Anyway, I did that. So weird how there was two feelings before and after. Before you talked to your mom and after you did.
Yeah, she was like, it was a different vibe. And he's like, yeah, it didn't really talk to her about anything. And she, yeah, I talked to her about you because, you know, I got some advice. And she's like, let me tell you something about being in a relationship, okay? When you're in a relationship, you don't want to bring too many people into the relationship because then it's too many cooks in the kitchen. And so he's like looking at her, he's like, we're on a reality show, and like, I asked my mom for advice. And she's like, okay, I don't want to talk about it. And she's like, you see, you want to fight. And she's like, no, I don't want to fight. You want to fight. And we all witnessed her wanting to fight. It's so interesting. Like, someone can't even admit that they have done something because she fully thinks she's right.
Oh yeah. She's
Yeah. And it's like, he's like, I can talk to my mom. I can talk to my mom about you. Like, it's okay. She seems like that's like, she feels like she's, because she would hop on the phone and talk to her sister about everything about Rosman in a heartbeat, but he's not allowed to. It just doesn't make any sense. I don't like her.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, because then she literally goes from this to the next scene that we like talked about, which is that she just goes in and is suddenly like, hey, you know what made me feel really good, what makes me feel really good, and what I expected at the end of this trip? It was for you to propose. Now this bitch very like week one was like, don't you think you're going to come to America and live with me? It's too soon. I don't know how the kids are going to be. Like, this is what she said early at So you please come in and just tell me that I know you're shaking your head, but like, can you believe that she said that after she was like, you can't even come to America?
She started to fucking cry on a beautiful rooftop looking at like the Hungarian skyline when he's like, I want to come on my own volition.
Yeah.
With my own fucking visa and just come and hang out with you for a couple. And she immediately freaks out and is like, you can't come to be with my kids. It's too soon. I don't know if this is right. So it's like, if she's doing this, it's okay, but no one else can't. And she can't even have a mirror held up to her to even say like, this is the issue. And he says to her straight up, he's not like Gino. He's not like any of the other desperate characters. Riley, we'll talk about his punk ass.
I can't.
He's like, listen, we fought, and you when you get upset, you decide that you're mad, and that's the end of it. And it's like that. She's unhealthy. because I think probably, she would just pout and Jason would do whatever, or her ex. I hate to talk about him because, whatever. But she gives me like the trope that she's a brat. And in order for her to come out of her brattiness, like she either has to be dicked down, like so good she doesn't remember, or
No.
be given some kind of gift. Like she just can't rationally come out of being annoyed or upset at something because she's a baby.
Huh. Would you ever think that about me? Do I have those tendencies?
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, you're not a baby like Amanda. Like you're not fucking no.
Okay.
No. Like Amanda is it no. Mm-mm. This whole like this is my line, girl. When you have relationships with people, you have to be able to blur that line. He's not a stranger.
Yeah, you're right. It's just that, I just love being dicked down. I love gifts. So when you said that to me, I'm like, are you talking to me? It feels like you're
Oh,
talking to, it feels like you're
no,
seeing me.
you're
It feels
not
like
a
you're,
brat. I don't think you're a brat.
okay, it's very sweet. No, yeah, I just also hated her eyeliner. Like, I think she looks way better with less eyeliner because she has hooded eyes. She had, and so like when she puts that eyeliner on, it makes her eyes look really, really small. Without eyeliner, she has much bigger eyes. And she looks more like a doll, like, so for me, I think that we've talked about her beauty and or lack thereof for you, but I think she's pretty, and I think that her beauty is enhanced by less makeup in her eyes.
Interesting.
Anyway, yeah.
Interesting.
So, do you
Jade
want
has
to
full
make?
eyes and you don't like Jade. But anyways, do I have hooded eyes? Yes, right?
Wait, look at me. Normal. Stop doing what you're doing and look at me. Are you open your eyes? Nick, what?
First of all, calm down.
Okay. Let me do it again. No, look at me.
I'm
Yeah.
looking. What is this?
I know, but you guys, just you're not.
Oh
You're
yeah, you just did an emotional. You had an emotional roller
No,
coaster in
because this
5
is
seconds.
because
Look
I
at
want
me.
Patreon knows what I want to see, but if you're on the free feed, Wa was like looking at me very surprised, and so I kept saying, "Look at me," because I was like, I want to say normally, it wasn't like I just told her that I won the goddamn lottery, like it's $535 million is mine. So
Look at it.
No, I don't think you have hooded eyes. So,
Anyways, I loved her eyeliner and I hated that she was doing her hair, and I want to know what her natural hair color is because that like it was a lot, wasn't it? I thought she was balding, and then I was like, oh, maybe this is something I don't understand.
I don't know.
Anywho,
I'll tell you though, we need to dye our hair in the future, and we need eyeliner, both of us. So how do we do it? By making money. Do you want to make money, Wa?
Yes, I want to make money. I will dye my hair and I'll get eyeliner.
Okay, but let's also make that money by going to commercial.
Okay, done making money. That was so quick, huh?
So much money. I know I have a lot of money now.
So let's move on to Gino and Jasmine, who looks Gino. I mean, Jasmine looks just completely different at this, but she looks beautiful now. She looks beautiful. I think Jasmine is beautiful. So you start.
Okay. Like obviously not at all fake, and we're supposed to believe every morsel of this. So the morsels that we're supposed to take into account without batting an eye, without nary a grain of salt, is that Jasmine and Gino got in a huge fight when he was like, I'm not going to pay for this apartment, and she's like, pay for this apartment and specifically pay for it until because of the visa thing, until I get to be there. When it's, very expensive. That's where Dane lives. So he's like, absolutely not. We've seen them fight over money a billion times. She always pokes him for money and thinks that he's cheap, and then gets in a big fight and seems to either pout or push him, hoping that at the end of the day, she ends up getting her way. And sometimes she does or whatever. But another point of contention besides the like rent was that she, like in a crazy kind of asinine way, just decided to demand that he on national television be like, you're more important than my whole family, all of them, when she has a family that he never had to like ask to be more important than. So that was like also very weird. And then well, anyway, so those are like the things that happened last episode. And this one, Gino has said no, that he won't do it, that he's broken up. And now guess what? He has to go. So he's packing his stuff. He's going to leave. Don't worry. He's really going to leave. Don't think he's not. But then 20 minutes later, sniffy, sniffs comes Jasmine. Wah?
And she's
I'll let
like,
you take it now.
and she's like, Gino, baby, come, let me show you something, baby. Please, don't leave
Wait.
me.
That Juno baby at first was like very Italian, and it made me so excited. But then you got into it. Okay.
Gino, baby. No, she's like, Gino, I want to show you something, baby. And so she goes and she gets the ugly ring that he has given her that she said that she threw away or lost. And she has it in a little case, the cheapest case ever. And so she comes up and she gets on bended knee and he is over her and she's like, Gino, will you try to ask me to marry you again? So like he's like, okay, and of course. And so then they hug and they have lots of, I mean, the longest pour. That was a lot of wine, right?
Yeah, yeah,
The
it was.
longest pour in the thickest glasses, you know? And so they have a good time, and this dog just comes out of nowhere and just like immediately is like, Mama, you crying, Mama? I thought that was the cutest thing when that little fluffy white dog just came and jumped on her lap and licked her tears.
I know, you like a little salt lick. I will say that I also did not like her nails though in the scene. They were, I mean, very long, and it just like glitter see-through. Like it looked like a glitter see-through caboodle case, like one of those plastic glitter, like yeah, just gold glitter, very big, very chunky glitter places. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, yeah, just made into nails. I mean, and here's the thing. I know this is very real and not scripted or set up by producers at all for her to come get these like gold ass, long ass nails. Happens to be a down on bending knee, waiting for this like ring to come on that brand new finger, honey. And so, I mean, she's crying, she's sniffling, she's like supposedly sad, but we've seen all this before. So she's a crazy person. I mean, she's just, like, this is, I mean, I have to tell you, it's like with everyone seems crazy on this show. Like, doesn't Amanda seem like she has a personality disorder? And then doesn't Jasmine in a different way too? Like, Jasmine literally has like blackout screams at people, and then like 20 seconds later is like so sorry and like crying. And I feel a lot of it has to be put on, but I feel like a lot of it has to like also kind of be okay in her mind in some way, like or I don't know, or everything is fake. I mean, I don't know the answer, but
No, I think she thinks it's okay. Like I think that she has gotten through life with behaving in this manner, and she also is on TV and is probably doing things to the nth degree. However, that was like a crazy 20 minutes later. It was really a quick turnaround. And so she then like they have a good little moment in their confessionals. She's wearing the same dress. It's a different day. The hair is a little bit more laid and the nails are different, which is how I know. And so, and so I think that she's in the States. We know she's here. So that's one of the things that we know, this is spoiler alert, sorry. But it's the next day and she's wearing this like ridiculously slutty pink outfit. I mean, it is just open here. And I normally am like, yeah, girl, live your life. But I'm like, you're going to the airport. You're not going to an art gallery. You're not going to a daytime brunch with your girls. Like you are going to the aeropuerto dressed as though you were trying to make money once Gino gets on that plane. You feel me?
I just want to know, in her mind, is it like, well, is it just is it just this, I have to make sure he knows what he's gonna be missing, so I have to look hot as fuck the moment he leaves so that he doesn't like cheat on me, or he remembers how hot I am, or he gives me more money, and or the fact that he leaves and then knows he still has to get me money because at any time I can get someone else because I always look this hot.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, Chris, I don't know. It was too much. And he has this like broken down ass luggage. When she suggests that he get some more, he's like, no, that was expensive. I'm just going to add it to the meals plan. And we see somebody struggling. I mean, one place you don't want to struggle is the airport. You know what I'm saying? That's the one place where it is worth whatever money for the convenience because of how, like, taking public transportation such as an airport is like an airplane is just like really hard on its own. So I thought that was hilarious that you could just tell how cheap he was. However, like he he did seem like, I'm gonna miss you, Jasmine. He has to take off his hat, and there's that like patch of like,
That's what he has left.
if he would just cut it, it wouldn't look so bad. But because he doesn't cut it, it looks like there's some kind of skin issue.
Yes.
So it's just like, Lord. She's crying, baby, I'm gonna miss you so much. So
I think I thought a lot about the head and the hair, in that patch a lot. I mean, too much. I had to go to bed last night and I barely did. And I'll tell you this right now. One thing I decided that is maybe also it's out of sight, out of mind. I think that he literally can't see the back of his head, and he wears hats anyway. So I don't think that he even thinks like from a profile what he would look like, or from the back what he would look like. And yeah, like,
do you think he shampoos it?
No.
Okay.
No. Now, I'm not saying he doesn't use body wash, and maybe he does that thing where he puts body wash on one of those like really scratchy plastic loofahs, like I don't think he has he's not going to wash he either uses a bar of soap, and he has one of those scratchy kind of poofy loofahs that like has mold in it because he never changes it. It has a weird musty smell. And then like he dubs that and then kind of just like squirts water from that loofah on top like a shower down, and then some of that gets into that scruffy scruff. It looks mildly like a rash. Honestly, it looks like a rash in the back there.
Yeah, it does. He's just like one of those people who were never taught to wash their legs, and so he just is like, oh, the water just drips on it, so it's clean.
Okay, so yeah, basically the LOL news is just that she never lost that ring, honey. She's been holding that ring, and then she had to give this whole thing like, I realized that I've been such an ungrateful bee. Should have just really appreciated this shitty ring, but I never appreciated this shitty ring because I'm such an ungrateful bitch.
I mean, listen, I know about being ungrateful. But also he like leaves her money. She's like, where is money? And he's like, oh, that's for you. Let's
talk about that. Okay, wait. First of all, he left her, and I'm just gonna go ahead and take this $80, $60 to $80 on the bedstand in $20 bills, which is very common for him. And it was a very easy thing, almost like clockwork. Like, listen, does the man wipe when he goes to the bathroom? Yes. And does the man leave an $80 in 20s, 4 of them, or 3 to 4, depending on how good it was for him, on his bedstand almost every week? Yes, he does. Jasmine was just there the week to collect it.
And she doesn't even get sex. She has to rub his feet. He's like, yeah, my feet hurt. I'm like, what, do you have plantar fasciitis? Like, what's happening with his feet to where she's always rubbing them?
Thank you, though, for me. That by the way, she said that for me. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I don't know. It is, all of it was funny. Been fake.
It was a lot, but it was kind of nice drama to see. Okay. Let's move on to these fools. Riley and Violet.
Yeah. I almost like don't know what to say. Like, it's cringy. He's very cringy for me now.
He's the same to me as Amanda. Like, they think that they can come over here and just behave like he really came to Vietnam with boss man fucking energy, like passport bro with a chip on his shoulder. Okay, he was gonna come there. He was going to hire a private eye before he even got there. And then when he got there, he was going to A, tell her that he thought she was a liar and was hiding something from him. B, wanted to know what the fuck was in her phone. C, put her on the phone with his crazy friend and did all this stuff to her to make her feel like she was wrong. And then when he leaves and she comes to help him pack and shit, he tries to like tell her that he loves her and then blame her for not having the reaction that he thought she needed to have because it's so hard for him to say those words, and she knows how hard it is for him to say those words. It's just like the emotional intelligence is haywire with that one.
Yeah, I completely agree. He seems very codependent. He seems so needy and so insecure, like this is a genderless phenomenon. And I think that maybe because I'm a female, I see it a lot in females and of this kind of like, it does feel like Amanda at all. I mean, not to cross Matt Sharp productions. It kind of could also feel like Savannah and Jake, someone who's delusional about the relationship, and then like the other person isn't on board, but they are like full steam ahead and also feel like they are entitled or deserve that person's allegiance in some way. You know what? No?
I'm not quite sure, because I feel like he came there as though he had all the cards. And so he was going to make her work for him to reveal said cards. And when she was like, no, Riley, I'm not going to work because I don't fucking need you. Nor am I so poor in my poor little country that I'm so desperate to get you and your money and shit, right? Like, that's all I saw. I saw a passport bro going to a country that passports bros go to. Well, Vietnam, not so much. Thailand for sure, but they're in the same area. So, like, for him to do that with so much bravado, and then for her to not even fucking hug him before he leaves, to me, really showed him, like, you can't come to my country and try to treat me like shit and try to make me feel bad. We had 3 fights since you were here, all because you think I'm this liar and you don't trust me. And now, before you leave, you try to impart on me how much I mean to you, but you never showed me any of that. To be honest, the situation with that friend, that was to me the straw that broke the camel's back. But I guess for her, it was the private detective.
Yeah, I think that probably was the camel. I think you're right. It was that the same for her, but I think that when she even attempted the idea of thinking about forgiving him, that was like, oh Jesus. I think that if Riley can't say, I think what she of course wants to say because she is like low key not,
Wait, Violet or Riley?
Violet.
Okay, sorry, I thought you said Riley. Go ahead.
No, I think Violet cannot say what she really wants to say, for lots of reasons. But I intrinsically feel like Violet's like, he will never protect me like a man. This looks like a man, but I swear to God, he treats me. I mean, like, I can't be the strong one in the relationship. I can't be the one that he's like not going to protect. Like, I got why she was upset about the friend thing, which is like,
Yeah.
you're going to use someone to go against me and like hurt me. You're not going to be on my side in this situation. It was just anyway. So once that happened, I think that she really opened her eyes to like him not being right for her. And so I think that she was on a television show and whatever, he got the pants, she had to see him one more time because he already gotten the pants made, and the whole outfit, took him to the church, was sort of like, this is the thing. And then when he came at her with like, hey, so all I'm going to say is I'm going to go back and I really, 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 really care for you. And she's like, blink, blink. And he's like, do you know what I'm saying? And she's like, yes, bitch, yes. And he's like, yeah, you're right. Then just like really upset that she's not like, yeah, definitely we're in love. And I just can't wait to see you again. And we're exclusive. And I can't wait to talk to you every time. But this bitch is like, and she's not a bitch. I love her very much. She's like, I just KIT. How about this? KIT.
I mean, yearbook KIT.
Yeah. How about like maybe just like, if you see me on WhatsApp and I'm like available, like maybe I'll say hi to you.
I mean, that keep in touch.
Yeah.
Just it was the keep in touch heard around the world.
Mm-hmm.
She is great. You're out of here. Leave. I'm
Can't
like,
wait.
is she getting any money for these? Look, the truth is, again, she doesn't need him, and he went there behaving like she does.
Mm-hmm.
And no one is going to put up with your shenanigans if they don't need you. You're not offering her a better life. You came and brought some whack ass gifts, like whatever, it wasn't Louis Vuitton. So
$100,000 in his bank account. Remember that? Remember like when she's like, how much do you have?
No. Wait. He said $100,000?
Yeah.
No, he did?
Yes.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Oh,
I don't
great.
remember that.
Oh, anyway,
Wow.
so, okay, moving on to greener pastures, or I don't know, moving on to someone else. Greener pastures, actually, yes, Statler and Dempsey in the greener pastures of Edinburgh, Scotland, or Scotland in essence, and I really always want to go. And this looks beautiful, and they're having the birthday sex trip at a castle, which, listen, I want to be like, I want that. If someone told me that they booked me a birthday sex trip in a castle, I'll tell you right now, I'd be very happy about it. Like, first of all, is there a dungeon? Second thing, is there a butler? And those are different thoughts and wants, but I just like want to know the couple of things. Will there be a chef? Is there sex toys in the dungeon? So many things, so many thoughts. I can't wait to have them all. Wow. What do you think? And also, wow, Outlander, the Highland, the Scottish Plains.
Yeah, it isn't the Highlands what we're watching, so it wasn't that great. I didn't hear enough Scottish accents in order for me to feel like it was worth the watch. This basically to me was not a castle. When they actually panned back and I saw the barn, I was like, "No, this is not a castle." It was a castle, like a castle at night. This is Lollybrock. Like this is like a home, a big home that has like a large plot of land about it, and it like people who had money live there, but it was not a king. So yeah, they have a
Wait, can I ask a question?
Mhm.
What's Lollybrock? Just I don't know. What is Lollybrock?
Oh, Lollybrock is Jamie's ancestral home. Who's Jamie?
Yeah, I
Jamie
know.
is
Outlander.
yeah. Okay. Yeah,
Okay, I
Lollybrock
just
is just
yeah.
his ancestral home. It's just like it's a large home from people who own land and they're kind of like the laird of the area, but they're not kings.
And how come ancestral sounds so much like ancestral? Wow.
Oh, that is we need to talk, to
Okay.
somebody to help you to untangle that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, basically they're not going to work out because Statler doesn't want to have kids, and Statler did the thing that I think people do when they are first dating, is they're like, because that happened to me. Like the person was like, I don't know if I want to have kids, and I'm like, you're 38, you should know. So if you don't know if you want to have kids at 38, you don't want to have kids. But initially when they first started talking, she had said that she would be open to having kids, and all of a sudden now she's like, I don't think having kids would work. I wouldn't be a good parent. And then I don't know, Chris, she goes into something about how it's awful or not, it can be awful to be an adopted person, and it didn't work out for her, so she wouldn't want to adopt.
I know. There was some, first of all, I'm going to say this. She's very open about some of her trauma. So this is a person that has been very open about that. And she is in a world where, her own perspective is what she sees through, like a pane of glass, and whatever's on the pane of glass of your own trauma, you can only really see through that. So anyway, having said that, I do know that adoption can of course have like some challenges, and I think that as a child of divorced parents, that definitely also has some challenges, and I think they're not to be the same, but I think that I don't know what the answer is. Definitely the answer is people, if they can adopt children, to definitely adopt them. So I just don't know if that was what she was trying to get across. But at first it's interesting because Dempsey's like, I'll tell you, like, I just want to have a child. And she says the most beautiful thing, it's like, because I've seen the relationship that my grandfather had with my father and I have with my father, and I want to see, like, I want to honor that, and I want to create more of that. And Statler's like, well, we would have hot baby eyes, like, our baby's eyes would be hot, like they'd be like, and like it's a little bit of like a weird joke or whatever. And the funny thing is, she's like, yeah, Dempsey has beautiful eyes, but also Statler also, like, it's obvious that Statler also thinks that Statler has beautiful eyes. Now, both of them do have beautiful eyes, but it's just interesting. I will be honest. I agree with Statler. I don't think Statler would be a good parent. I think Statler is very much in her own world, and I can't quite tell how much of it is conscious and how much of it is like purposeful and how much is like okay with. Like when she talks about wanting to just like be in a codependent relationship with someone, it's like, all right, but are you cognizant that someone else also has to be in that relationship and you picked someone who might not be comfortable with that? So it's always confusing to me, like where Statler is in her knowledge of her being the main character in the entire world, or whether she allows some other like main characters in that way.
Yeah, I think that Statler is confused, and I don't know what she meant to say to combat her, adopting. I would never do that because I had a bad experience, but I think when I think about it, I'm really sad for her trauma.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, children need to be adopted because there are some fantastic adopted parents out there.
Yeah.
And I think she kind of made it seem like the whole system is rigged. And I mean, I think it's sad for someone to be adopted by people and then have those people either A, actually be shitty, or be shitty to whatever it is that you need. And you then internalize that and say, well, because my adoptive parents weren't able to handle my ADHD, that means that people even don't like me. And like my mother gave me away. So then these, I just think it's a lot of trauma that she needs to unpack before she tries to get in a relationship with somebody, especially somebody who wants children.
Oh my God, absolutely. It also was just fascinating that she was so jumping into how they should absolutely move in together and then hadn't talked about something
So fundamental. It's just
and
crazy.
she's so quick to throw away this deal breaker, so it's obviously a big deal for her. But basically they leave the castle and they do have like a beautiful moment in Edinburgh where there's Scottish bagpipers and they're like, there's a king's kind of like there's a Kingsway area that you go and you can buy like gorgeous wool cashmere tartan things, and so I was like so excited for them and like seeing them in castles. Like I just want to be in that beautiful city so much. There's like all these beautiful seagulls and stuff like that. I just like died. I just like love seeing that. And yeah, she has them sing happy birthday for her. And she does make this really special for her. It's obvious that she's putting in thought to make Dempsey feel good.
But don't you also feel like she's trying to buy Dempsey a little bit? Like this all seems sweet, but I also think that it seems sweet and is sweet because that's what Statler wants to like win her over with. I don't know. It doesn't feel genuine without any expectation.
I agree with you, but it's so funny because then, of course, when they have their like dinner scene in the castle and what we talk about, which is the babies, and
Breakfast.
Statler just seems so like it looks like such a good breakfast. Like I love that, Dempsey's like, can I just have vegan sausage and vegan bacon and toast? And they're like, yeah, we have it all. Like whatever you need, you're a queen. Anyway, so I just love her so much. By the way, I think that she's like the most beautiful, elegant person. Like I'm really into her and just the way that she like has expressed herself and the way that she like the way that she communicates with Statler is like a really beautiful lesson in patience and being present and listening to someone and having kind of a crazy answer and then still having breath and patience with someone.
Yeah.
But basically, yeah. So when Statler hears that Dempsey really wants to be a mom, she really is like, oh, well, if that's what it is, I don't know if it's going to work. And it's just so funny. Like, oh, oh, well, then you're not going to even, if that must be a huge deal breaker because you're not going to even like try and work that shit out. And you have talked about it before. So like, you knew that she might be open to this.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think some people have a hard time saying that they don't want children.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's might have been what it is. Like, I think sometimes folks have a hard time saying that because when you say that to people have an adverse reaction.
Mm-hmm.
So she storms off angry, Dempsey, and starts to pack all of her makeup that looks too old and she needs to throw it all away and start again. And
I snorted.
You snort all the time.
I know, but it's just like I know, but just the read was so good. Like,
yeah.
she has to start all over again. Like,
listen. If you can't afford it, I'm telling you, Elf. Okay, do it. So she, that's the end of their segment. That's all the last thing I saw. Right?
Yeah, there's nothing else. And then so we have two more. Yeah, we have two more Coops Badoops left, and that is David and Sheila and Cleo and Christian. Who do you want to? Okay. So yeah, definitely, obviously, David and Sheila, who has to be the most beloved couple of the season. There's not even that good placement. I mean, there's nothing else besides that, but it's just fine. It's their last day, this like beautiful resort that they have just been on a romantic holiday with, and Sheila gets to go home to her dad and her son and relay the news that she is engaged, so it's so Shakespearean only because, everything is like death and new marriages and death. It's just so like, it's in real time how fast this one's happening in her life. Wow.
Yeah, a lot has happened. And I think it's either in 2 weeks, 3 weeks time. It's a lot to have happen. But they had lots of morning sex. So, I mean, he loved the scissoring. He loved the doggy style. He loved all manner of things happening. And they now have this last hurdle of they now have this last hurdle of telling Jonrel as to what's happening, because she says that she will not leave her son, which is like good for you, because I would have. And just kidding, I don't know what it's like to have children, but she uh is kind of nervous about that. And then they're in that bus or that little van driving back, and for a second I think I see Amy in the background, but it's not Amy, it's just someone who has Amy's similar haircut. And so they get to some place where they're selling Coca-Cola in the bottle. And it's just so interesting to me how in the Central American countries that I have visited, they will give you a Coke in a bottle like it's completely normal. Whereas, like, not as though it's completely normal there. And in the States, it's not normal to order a bottle of Coca-Cola. But that's what they all have. They sit down and they talk and talk about their engagement. And Sheila doesn't do the best job of translating every bit of the conversation. She only says things back to him when it's directed specifically to him, which I was like, oh, that kind of sucks for him. And I get it, she's probably not comfortable, but that kind of sucks for David because he doesn't really know what's going on. And John Rell says that he would go to America, that he, thinks there's going to be great food in America, and that his mother is really happy. And at first he was a little worried, but now he's not anymore. And the dad is just like, great, send me back money. So
yeah, like I wonder what Donald I wonder what he wants to eat. Like I wonder what he thinks sounds yummy. And like that's like such a great YouTube channel of just like watching him like try all the American stuff for the first time. Like I would be like, do you want to try this chalupa? And like, can you record yourself when you try the chalupa and like tell me what you think? Now David and Sheila go to the airport and it's very sad. Okay, it's a very, very sad.
It's sad and it's also very loud. It's sad and it's also like at first
sign language.
I was like turning over. I like turned over because I was like, oh, I need to move in the bed, and I just hear.
No, Wano.
I was like,
no, Wano.
Is that David?
No.
Yeah. And it was.
It's like he
she immediately tries to shut him up. She's like, shh.
No, I know. It's like he was holding it in and he knew that something was gonna happen because he's like, sorry. And then he just exhales and it's like, it's just this, he's very sad. Wow, he's a very sad man in that moment. Okay, it was very sad sound, very desperately sad sound, a lot high sound, shrieky sound, like ooh, but I you don't want him to leave. So then like at one point she's standing in the window, he comes back. It's just like, it is sad. She's just like, please come back. He's like, I will. I'm gonna get a visa for you and you'll come there. And she like can't wait. So God bless her. And that's all I have to say.
Yeah, it's just so interesting, that cry of desperation. So
I know.
they like will watch each other through glass. It's so cute, and she can't. She's like, I also wondered for a brief second, did he give her gas money to get home? That's all I wondered. Now let's move on to Cleo and Christian. And this is the one thing I want to say before I forget it. Christian had on some very shiny white shoes when they're like doing the foot to foot look shot that the cameras took. I was like, oh my God, he has new shoes. She made him buy new shoes, or he bought his own new shoes because those were not the shoes he was wearing. They were too white and clean to be the shoes that I peeped before. They go out and get donuts, and she is unable and or questioning her behavior for the last couple of weeks or days that she's been with him, because she says that she doesn't know if all of her emotions are correct and if it's pushing him away, but these are the things that she needs. And I don't think that what she's asking for is too much for her peace of mind, especially because he's done all this like stuff.
Yeah. Their London Donut Day is interesting. And, I love donuts. And I feel like I was watching that. I was like, wow, wants to eat all those donuts. And there was like one donut that said dough, like a donut. It was like a pink donut. It was like very Simpsons. I was surprised I saw it. I was like, this must be a whole ass thing. Yeah, she's been worried about them red flags. So she has laid out her problem, which is this. She has seen him be insecure, or no, she has seen him drink in bar atmospheres and be uncomfortable or slightly inappropriate with how open he is to talking to single women. Now, he has taken this to mean the following things. Oh no, I can't drink and flirt and be charming and be the fun, life of the party that is, everyone knows me to be, like that's his like that's his like point of view about it. But what he also doesn't know is that as a female, you're what I mean, just so you know, my expertise is that no, it's not fun to see a guy want attention at a bar. And if I'm watching a guy drink and talk to women, and I know that he has a girlfriend, where I feel like it happens compulsively and not in a natural and organic way. And because I think that is what, like, Christian will sit down, have a drink, look out and see someone to talk to and be happy that the liquor is warming him up for him to jump into the next version of Christian, the one that makes him happy, which is this life at the party. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. She's witnessed it. And so she has valid insecurities. And
yeah,
all I want is the best for her.
I also say that in this London town donut day, she gives me a vibe that is like half Whitney Port, how little tiny bit Ivanka Trump too. But I like her so much. I know.
Yeah, I see Ivanka Trump for sure.
I know. It's so interesting. It's like, but also Whitney Port,
I have to Google Whitney Port.
She's the Hills, but she's one of the Hills people.
Oh yeah, that's what I know her. But yeah, I think you're absolutely correct. He's like, well, why would you think I'm just out here talking to people? It's because that's literally what you do. Yeah. And so she cries, and I think she's going to cry again the next time they meet. And he's just so upset with being portrayed as the bad guy, but it's not her portraying him as the bad guy. It's him doing it to himself. So,
well, she's like, are we exclusive afterward? And he's like, they have this exclusive talk, and he's like, well, yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to date anyone else besides you. And that's just like a weird, vague answer to give someone that you've already traveled to, like, oh, well, I'm not trying to date anyone else besides you. Oh, well then, yes. or no, because you're not trying, but if it happens, you're not exposed to it either. It's such a, like, what does that mean?
Yeah, I would be like, it doesn't feel solid enough for me. But like, truthfully, what is the trajectory of this? Is she gonna come and live in Minnesota with me and him, or is he gonna
just you?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna. If she moves to fucking Minnesota, I'm gonna be friends with Chloe. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna find her, and we're gonna be fucking friends.
Cleo.
Mm-hmm. Right, Patrick. Cleo Patrick. And so, yeah, or is he gonna go live in London town? I don't think he would.
Obviously, we know what should happen, but
they should break up, right?
Oh yes, well that's you're absolutely right. That is what should happen. And then if for any reason they were to stay together, which one should move where?
She should move here so that we could be friends.
Got it. So you really will take someone down just for your like momentary gain.
Chris, there is a new speakeasy that just opened up around the corner. I've already tried to go to the other one, couldn't get in. Now I'm going to try to go to this other one, and I'm going to look fantastic. So yeah, she and I would go to speakeasies, and I'm sure there's
get your charts read. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we would get our charts read.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I would like for Cleo to move to Minnesota. All right. I think that's the end of the episode, right?
Yeah, it is. Oh my goodness gracious. Can I just go ahead and say, God bless. We're recording this on September 11th, and RIP. Yeah, it's September 11th, and my heart goes out to everyone that was affected. And I feel like obviously as Americans, we were, we all like kind of know where we were, but I was kind of revisiting some of the first responders and the people that were there that day, and some of their tales, and watching some of the footage. And I wasn't there that day. But just the amount of like horror and bravery that happened that day, and I'm sorry, I just had this whole thing where I watched it and I just got to remember. But also we are remembering today, and God bless everyone that like lost their lives. Anyway, thank you. If you want to have more of us, you absolutely can have more of us. How? We invite you to go into our social medias. We have an Instagram, it's at DocuSweeties. We have a TikTok at DocuSweeties. We have a X / whatever that thing was called, Twitter at DocuSweeties1. We are on Facebook. It's called Facebook. You know that. DocuSweeties, the podcast group. And if you haven't yet, consider giving us 5 stars. We really, really, really need them. We have no stars at all, like except for the 2 stars hosting the show. And let's get to the other star to give us our ending. What?
Yeah. And if you have $10 extra a month and you would like to get exclusive content from us, you can go to patreon.com/DocuSweeties for $10 a month. You get the visuals of what you are listening to right now, as well as you could see my fall outfits. You get a live every first Monday of the month and other fun things. So come on down and join us. We've got some new folks that have come down and I know they're having a great time. You should too. Patreon.com/DocuSweeties, $10 a month. Join us. All right, you guys, we will talk to you later. Bye.